Y News with Angelo Castro III, William Theo, and Darlene Basingan.
Good evening. The Senate has approved tonight the proposed 3.7 trillion pesos national budget for the year 2018. Following the Senate's approval, the 2018 proposed national budget will undergo deliberation of the Bicameral Conference Committee to settle disagreeing provisions. It is expected that on the third week of December, President Rodrigo Duterte will sign the General Appropriations Bill. The Senate has begun deliberations on the proposed joint resolution to increase the monthly salary of uniformed personnel, which the upper chamber hopes to bring positive results before the year ends. Nel Maribuhok will tell us why.
The Senate targets to pass the proposed increase in monthly take-home pay of military and other uniformed personnel before the session breaks in December. Based on the proposed joint resolution of Senate President Aquilino Coco Pimentel III, beginning January 1, 2018, the base pay of personnel under the Department of National Defense, Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, Bureau of Fire Protection, Philippine National Police, Philippine Coast Guard, and National Mapping and Resource Information will be doubled. This means that the lowest ranking soldier, which is Private Officer 1 in BJMP and BFP and PO1 in the PNP, who receive 14 to 15,000 pesos, will soon receive a base pay amount to 29,668. This will be a big help, especially to the soldiers.
This is a reflection of how the people, as represented by our senators, appreciate the efforts of the AFP, especially in the performance of our duty.
According to Senator Panfilo Lacson, the proposed joint resolution may likely be approved before the holiday break this December.
Kaya nga dapat ihabol, mauna itong increase, kaya joint resolution, doon sa passage ng General Appropriations Act para ma-incorporate na doon yung incremental increase.
Also, according to the Senator, there is enough budget, particularly from last year's underspending, to fund the salary hike. The Senator also wants to include the retirees into benefit from the proposed increase.
Ang tanong lang is, willing ba yung Malacanang to include the retired sector? Kasi sinasabi nga na yung mga nag-retire, yung mga widows na nag-retire, say 20 years ago, ang pension nila applicable ng 20 years ago, hindi ba?
Lacson seeks to increase the pension of retired personnel from 20 to 50%. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
The government streamlines processing of building permits and certificates of occupancy from the former 123 days to only 10 days. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Various government agencies led by the Department of the Interior and local governments signed a joint memorandum circular streamlining the process of acquiring building permits and certificates of occupancy. The program also covers other agencies such as the Department of Public Works and Highways, Department of Information and Communications Technology, and Department of Trade and Industry, together with local government units nationwide. After months of deliberations, the said agencies agreed on coming up with shorter and faster system of processing the said documents. This is also in line with President Rodrigo Duterte's directive to all government agencies for an efficient and more accessible service for the people.
Binawasan natin yung mga unnecessary, ibig sabihin yung mga redundant and unnecessary requirements. Kasi ito yung mga nagpapahaba ng process eh. Pati na yung number of signatories sa mga permits na yan.
One-stop shop of concerned government agencies will also be provided in municipal and city hall, so clients need not to travel in various locations to secure a building permit. However, one representative of a private sector says the hard part will be the implementation of the directive.
But I do want to emphasize that after the issuance of the guideline, I think the most important aspect to remember is we have to implement. Without implementation, this will just be a piece of paper, actually, that we have all signed.
The ILG is planning to incorporate measures that will punish local government units that will not implement the joint memorandum circular. The joint memorandum circular is targeted for implementation in December or early next year as soon as the guidelines are completed.
We'll see if we can put some punitive measures para to compel our local government units to comply.
Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Meanwhile, Supreme Court Associate Justice Teresita de Castro verifies to the impeachment committee one of the allegations stated in the impeachment complaint filed against Chief Justice Lourdes Sereno. Here's why from Grace Casin.
Supreme Court Associate Justice Teresita de Castro confirms that Chief Justice Lourdes Sereno's Administrative Order No. 175-2012-SC, which sought to create a Judiciary Decentralized Office or JDO, did not undergo proceedings at the Supreme Court Enbanc.
We are invited only to a launching of the Regional Court Administration Office in Region 7. And we were not at all consulted and made to participate in this decision to reopen the Regional Court Administration.
De Castro says she questioned it and as a result was discussed during a December 27, 2012 Enbanc meeting. The SC Justice agreed to revise the initial administrative order issued by the top magistrate. However, the Associate Justice said she was dismayed with the result of the supposedly revised order.
It was after a few days that I called up the clerk of court and asked for a copy of the resolution. So ganito ho yung conversation namin. Pwede ba makahingi ng resolution yung tungkol dun sa ARCAO na pinag-decide namin noong nakaraang Tuesday? Sabi ni Chief, babaguhin niya yung administrative order niya. I want to see how it was done. Ho, sabi ho niya, ni-ratify niyo daw eh.
In the verified answer Sereno submitted in the impeachment committee, she said she implemented the administrative memo number 16-11-09-SC, which was approved by SC last Enbanc November 14, 2006 under the leadership of then Chief Justice Renato Puno. This was confirmed by Attorney Jojo Lacanilao, one of Sereno's lawyers. However, De Castro explained that Sereno did not open a ARCAO in 2012 but created a new office called Judiciary Decentralized Office or JDO without undergoing the SC Enbanc, which was confirmed by Supreme Court Administrator Justice Milas Marquez.
Ang sinulat po sa amin, i-reopen daw ang ARCAO. But there is no such ARCAO that was launched. What was launched by the Chief Justice is the Judiciary Decentralized Office.
I just remember receiving an instruction to fly to Cebu for the launch of ARCAO. But when I went there, it was not ARCAO which was being launched, but JDO.
Meanwhile, De Castro also affirms that Sereno altered her draft temporary restraining order, which was included in the impeachment complaint.
The fact that she included other parties who are not involved in the case is procedurally wrong. It is procedurally infirm. And I raised my objection to that because that will deny the right to due process of law of other parties. And also it will impair the power of the COMELEC to proclaim candidates, winning candidates.
But Sereno's lawyer says,
kasi yung TRO recommendation ni Justice De Castro, kinuha naman yung recommendation, di ba? Ang sabi, i-TRO ang COMELEC, tiniro naman ni Chief Justice Sereno, except nilagyan pa niya ng ibang partido kasi meron pong dalawang request ng TRO. Mahirap naman, i-TTR mo isang party, yung isang party hindi mo i-TTRO. Nakita ni Chief Justice Sereno yon, one coming from Justice De Castro, isa yung galing kay Justice Reyes. So sinabi niya, pinagtagpo niya, at isang TRO na lang po ang inilabas niya. Remember, in-issue po niya yon during recess. At sa recess po, siya po ay may karapatang mag-issue ng TRO.
Impeachment Committee Chairman Reynaldo Umali says it is too soon to weigh in all the testimonies given by the resource persons.
Taong bayan po ang maghuhusga kung meron nga bang nilalaman yung mga statements ng mga resource persons.
Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
Alongside the commemoration of Bonifacio Day, pro- and anti-revolutionary government groups will hold protests tomorrow. Leslie Langboen tells us why.
The 30-feet effigy of President Rodrigo Duterte that is set to be burned in tomorrow's anti-revolutionary government protest is now ready. Kilusang Mayo 1 Secretary General Jerome Adonis says the revolutionary government that the pro-Duterte groups want for the Philippines is fake.
Kaya yan yung sinasabi namin, peke ito. Dahil nasa mando ito ng mga oligarkiya, ng mga kroni ni Duterte. At nasa kumpas ito pangunahin ng imperialismong Estados Unidos. Ang totoong revolusionaryong gobyerno na kailangan ng mamamayan ay yung nasa pamumuno mismo ng uring manggagawa. No? Which is yung ninais ni Bonifacio. No? Na gusto ni Bonifacio, independyente tayo economically sa kontrol ng dayuhan, may sarili tayong pagpapasya.
Apart from the issue of revolutionary government, the militants will also protest against low salary, contractualization, injustice, killings, and others. A separate rally will also be held by groups in favor of revolutionary government. The Council of Patriotic Forces says this is the way to hasten the progress of the country under the leadership of President Duterte.
It will accelerate yung reform agendas niya because at present, alam naman natin yung constitutional government natin, maraming legislative actions ang kailangan. However, with the revolutionary government, he could immediately implement whatever he wants to save the country from destruction.
The rally aims to urge the president to declare a revolutionary government. But Malacanang earlier said it doesn't see any sufficient basis for the country to establish a revolutionary government. Leslie Langboen, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
And Davao City is all set for a maximum deployment of security force for the big event tomorrow. Here's why from Abby Santa Ines.
About 10,000 individuals are expected to join the pro-revolutionary government rally tomorrow in Davao City, according to the group called Hugpong Federal Movement. With this, the Davao City Police Office will have a maximum deployment of its security forces who will patrol at the rally points in the city.
Well, kasado na ang security plan, sir. No, we actually prepared more than the standard security plan. No, kung daghan sila, mas daghan ang atong kapulisan o atong kasundaluhan. No, mo secure.
The pro-revolutionary rally will be held at the Rizal Park and will begin at around 4 in the afternoon. One of the biggest groups participating in the event is the Hugpong Federal Movement.
Nakita nato nga ang kining sistema sa gobyerno nga mao'y kanunay natong madungog nga mao'y muhatag o kanang lasting and genuine change diri sa atong nasod. Mao kana ang atong ginausa sa mga hinungdan nga kinahanglan i-deklara ang revolutionary government aron mapadali no ang pagplastar sa sistemang federalismong gobyerno diri sa atong nasod.
Aside from pro-revolutionary government groups, the Davao PNP is also preparing for the protest of anti-revolutionary government group, though the group has not informed them yet regarding the movement tomorrow. Abby Santa Ines, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The Senate is set to begin its deliberation on the proposed amendments in the Constitution next year. The Senate leadership says the executive branch may propose its amendments but will need to undergo proper process. Nel Maribohok will tell us why.
The executive branch can come up with a proposed new constitution. That's why ang suggestion ko nga nun, yung kanyang CONCOM, yung 25 member CONCOM niya, sana ibuo na niya so that meron siyang katulong sa pag-aral.
This has been the statement of Senate President Coco Pimentel as the Senate awaits for President Rodrigo Duterte's proposed amendments in the 1987 Constitution. According to Pimentel, the executive branch may present proposals for charter change, which Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon agrees on the condition that the proposed amendments of the executive branch will undergo proper legislative procedure.
We will debate on it. We will give it the appropriate weight as coming from the chief executive of the land. But amending the Constitution is the responsibility of a Constituent Assembly or a Constitutional Convention.
Meanwhile, Senator Grace Poe, for her part, said amendments on the economic provision of the Constitution should be prioritized. This was her reaction after President Duterte mentioned that he wanted to prioritize amendments to curb corruption in the country. The Senate targets to start the debate on charter change and federalism next year. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
Let's take a look at the traffic situation now along some major roads in Metro Manila. On 5th Avenue in C3, Caloocan City, vehicles are fast-moving on the lane going to Mabini. Motorists are also experiencing light flow of vehicles on the lane going to A. Bonifacio. On Alabang Sapori Road, there is moderate traffic flow on the lane going to Muntinlupa City and South Luzon Expressway or SLEX. While motorists are also experiencing moderate flow of vehicles on the lane going to Ayala Alabang and Las Piñas City. The Department of Transportation might return the maintenance and rehabilitation for the MRT-3 to its former maintenance provider, the Sumitomo Corporation. Here's why from Joan Nano.
There is a huge chance that the Department of Transportation or DOTR might bring back Sumitomo Corporation and its technical partner Mitsubishi Heavy Industries in the maintenance and rehabilitation of the Metro Rail Transit or MRT-3. This has been the statement of the Department of Transportation or DOTR today. It also assures the public that the government is doing its best to improve the services of MRT. According to DOTR Assistant Secretary for Rails Timothy John Batan, Sumitomo Corporation is the first company being considered by the Transportation Department as the maintenance provider of the rail system.
Yan ay isa dun sa mga options na talagang tinitingnan ng mabuti ng Department of Transport dahil kung nalalaman ninyo, yung joint venture na yan, yung nag-design, sila yung nagtayo ng MRT-3 from 1998 to 2000 at sila rin yung nag-maintain ng MRT-3 from 2000 to 2012.
The DOTR targets to get the services of the said company through government-to-government agreement and not by bidding. Philippine transport officials are currently coordinating with the Japanese government regarding the matter. The agreement is expected to be signed before the year ends.
Yang G2G agreement na yan, yung magbibigay daan dun sa Official Development Assistance or ODA na gagamitin o na maaaring gamitin ng DOTR upang makahanap ng isang maintenance service provider.
The DOTR says the contract would also contain the rehabilitation of MRT so the trains could return to its original performance. However, the Transportation Department has yet to determine the amount it will pay Sumitomo for its services. Sumitomo was the maintenance provider of MRT in the first 12 years of its operation. It was also the company that designed the MRT. Meanwhile, the National Bureau of Investigation conducted another inspection earlier at the depot of MRT. The inspection is in connection with the NBI's investigation on the decoupling of coaches last November 16. In the said inspection, MRT engineers showed NBI the system of attachment of trains. Joan Nano, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Next on Y News. The Nueva Ecija provincial government assures that there is no reason to panic after the culling of over 40,000 chickens in Cabiao due to bird flu.
The Government Peace Panel clarifies that the termination of peace talks also voids the Joint Agreement on Safety and Immunity Guarantees, or JASIG.
The Bureau of Customs files charges against one company over smuggling of 2 luxury vehicles in June.
Y News will be right back. The Nueva Ecija provincial government assures that the town of Cabiao is now safe following the slaughter of over 40,000 chickens in a farm in the area. Ray Pelayo will tell us why.
The provincial government assures the implementation of strict monitoring in all poultry farms in the province of Nueva Ecija to prevent the emergence and spread of bird flu virus similar to what happened in Jaén and San Isidro in the past months.
Doon sa confirmatory test, pareho na naging resulta. So nagkaroon ng meeting between DA and the Provincial Veterinary Office at pinlano yung pag-conduct ng culling with the, of course, the full cooperation of the poultry owner.
This after confirmation that around 40,300 layer chickens were culled by the Provincial Veterinary Office on November 21 and 22 in Barangay Concepcion in the town of Cabiao due to bird flu virus. According to Provincial Administrator Attorney Alejandro Abisamis, it was in November 12 when the Provincial Veterinary Office detected high mortality rate among chickens in the involved farm. On November 13, veterinary officials immediately extracted the specimen from a dead chicken and sent it to the central office of the Bureau of Animal Industry in Quezon City for verification.
Wala po tayong dapat ikabahala dahil ang inyong pagmamahalang panlalawigan ay nakatutok, at nakasubaybay sa lahat ng mga nagiging developments na ito sa ating lalawigan.
Abisamis added that in accordance to the protocol of the Department of Agriculture, they immediately buried the dead fowls within the poultry compound in order to prevent the spread of the virus. The official commended the cooperation of the LGU and the poultry farm owner that they were able to act swiftly on the matter. Ray Pilayo, UNTV, News and Rescue, Philippines.
Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process, Secretary Jesus Dureza, confirms that the Joint Agreement on Safety and Immunity Guarantees, or JASIG, likewise has been terminated. JASIG gives safe conduct pass to communist leaders who participate in the peace negotiations. Based on his statement, the proclamation of President Rodrigo Duterte terminating the peace talks with the leftist groups also cancels ancillary agreements such as JASIG. This is what Malacanang affirmed yesterday.
I think that's to facilitate the conduct of peace talks. But since there are no more peace talks, there's no imperative to recognize this JASIG, no?
15 members of the New People's Army were killed in two barangays in Nasugbu, Batangas last night. Leslie Longboan will tell us why.
5 women and 10 men suspected to be members of the New People's Army or NPA were killed in an encounter with the Combined Forces of the Philippine National Police or PNP and the 730th Combat Group of the Philippine Air Force or PAF in Barangay Aga and Barangay Kailaway in Nasugbu, Batangas at around 8:30 last night. Police Chief Superintendent Maria Aplasca, the Regional Director of the Police Regional Office 4A, said some concerned citizens gave the police a tip-off on several armed individuals in their area. This prompted the authorities to set up checkpoints in areas where the individuals might pass through. At one of the checkpoints, an armed group refused to stop and started shooting at the authorities while on board a jeepney and a closed van, hence the encounter.
Some of the checkpoints, nakalusot sila. But ito na yung checkpoint na area na may encounter talaga.
2 injured members of the suspected rebels were even rushed to a hospital, but one of them did not survive. The authorities confiscated 7 M16 rifles, backpacks that contained clothes, and 2 laptops from the armed group.
No family member has signified to claim any of the caliber, encouraging them to coordinate with the PNP. And we will release to them the calibers of their relatives, provided they can present documents.
Meanwhile, 3 are injured on the government side, namely Major Engelberto Nioda, 2nd Lieutenant Eliseo Incerto, and Technical Sergeant Kenneth Lopez. Leslie Longboan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Philippines.
Philippine National Police Chief Police Director General Ronald Bato de la Rosa defends the cops who conducted an operation last month that resulted to the death of 3 individuals in Tondo, Manila. Here's why from Aiko Miguel.
Philippine National Police Chief or PNP Director General Ronald Bato de la Rosa sees nothing wrong with the police operation last October 11 in Barangay 19 Tondo, Manila, which left 3 people dead. Despite this, the police chief says he had asked the Internal Affairs Service to investigate the matter to determine if the involved cops should be suspended or relieved from their post.
Depende sa recommendation ng magkakanak na investigation. I leave it to IAS. I cannot dispute. Basta sa akin lang, we will never cover up. Kung may nagawang kamalian yung Manila, then harapin nila.
De La Rosa also notes there is malice in the timing of the release of the video. He explains the operation took place last month but was released just this week when the president announced his intention to reinstate the PNP to the war on drugs. The PNP chief claims the video was edited to take the image of the police.
Talagang may intention na papalabasin talaga masama ang pulis. Well, kung masama, wala kami magawa. We will investigate at gagawin namin ng kakulang investigasyon. Pero wag naman sana yung gano'n na talaga, pina-project talaga na pati yung timing, pati yung pagka-edit. Lahat design talaga to damage.
He notes even the checking of copies of commercial CCTVs in the said village was given malice.
Tapos na, nangyari na ang krimen. Bakit bigyan pa ng malis yung CCTV na ginanon? Tapos na, patay na, tapos ng barilan.
The PNP chief also notes that even the evacuation of people from the area was also given a bad meaning.
Anong gusto mo? Pati yung bata na tumatakbo doon, pabayaan mo pumasok doon para pagbarilan, matamaan yung bata? Kung may madisgrasya na bata, kasalanan ng pulis. Ngayon na iniwasan ng pulis na mayroong collateral damage, hinahawi yung mga tao, masama na naman ulit ang pulis.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
PNP Chief Director General Ronald De La Rosa wanted to prove that there was no cover-up in the Lee Jung-dae kidnapping case, and so he presented to the media 3 NBI agents allegedly linked to the crime. Lea Ilagan will tell us why.
Ako yung tao na hindi nagtatago. I don't want to cover up or anything. Yun ang lumabas sa investigation, and we never made up that story.
This has been the reaction of PNP Chief Police Director General Ronald Bato de la Rosa after the National Bureau of Investigation or NBI released a statement that it plans to charge the Philippine National Police for implicating 3 alleged NBI agents in the Lee Jung-dae kidnapping case. Along with this, the PNP chief asked for apologies if the NBI leadership was offended by his remarks. General De La Rosa also emphasizes that even he himself is hurt whenever there are cops involved in unlawful acts.
Sorry kung nasaktan sila. Ako rin, nasasaktan rin ako pag may pulis na involved sa krimen, kahit na unverified or what, basta lumabas ang pangalan ng pulis, well, we have to accept that may nangyayari talaga.
The PNP chief adds he revealed the matter involving 3 NBI agents not to destroy the image of the Bureau but to have the involved persons investigated.
Ang purpose ko naman doon is hindi ako naninira ng ahensya. Kung pulis, aminin ko ang PNP o kurap na PNP, hulihin. Wala man tayong tinatago dito.
The general adds all government agencies have the same objectives, good governance and cleansing.
We are after internal cleansing. We are after good governance. Na gusto natin maayos yung gobyerno na hindi masira. Hindi yung magkukubli-kublihan tayo na...
Lea Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
Meanwhile, a group of critics dare the Philippine National Police to release new guidelines the moment they are reinstated to the government's war on drugs. Here's why from Ray Palayo.
Di bukas makalawa, baka balik tayo sa pagbibilang ng ilang patay. Baka ang mga headline na lang natin ay puro bangkay.
The Free Legal Assistance Group or FLAG is worried over the possible result should the Philippine National Police or PNP return to its role in the government's campaign against illegal drugs. According to FLAG Secretary General Maria Socorro Jocno, the PNP should revise its first guidelines or the Command Memorandum Circular 16-2016 to clarify the limitations of operatives, particularly in conducting upland tokhang.
Kung halimbawa ikaw ay matokhang at hindi ka pumayag na papasukin or kausapin ang mga... Dahil ayaw mo, hindi ka pumayag, ayoko yung kitang kausapin, bahay mo yun, sariling tahanan mo. Abay, ikaw ay ngayon target.
The Commission on Human Rights or CHR says it will continue to monitor the operations against illegal drugs of any government agencies. CHR Chairperson Chito Gascon says they noticed the drop in the number of deaths since the supervision of the war on drugs was transferred to the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency or PDEA.
Umaasa kami na itong pagbalik sa police ang operations na ito, law enforcement operations laban sa droga ay sundan lamang po nila yung police operations procedure, yung use of force rules at hopefully hindi po tumaas uli yung bilang ng mga nasasaktan at napatay.
PNP Chief Director General Ronald Bato de la Rosa initially said they would be more cautious should the conduct of illegal drugs operations be returned to the police. General de la Rosa also plans, among others, to order the use of body camera to all operatives who will be part of anti-illegal drugs operations. De la Rosa says this will help allay doubts of the public. Meanwhile, Professor Elizabeth Aguiling Pangalangan of the Institute of Human Rights of the UP Law Center explains law enforcement is necessary but the government should also focus on various ways on how to save individuals addicted to illegal drugs.
Kung users tapos sa sarili lang nila hindi sila nagpupush, that's a real health problem, no? Or question of poverty, no? Pero yung drug pushers and drug lords, kailangan talaga law enforcement dyan.
Ray Pilayo, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
An alleged narco general and his wife are likely to face multiple charges before the Office of the Ombudsman. Here's why from Rajel Adora.
The National Bureau of Investigation or NBI filed multiple charges against former Philippine National Police or PNP Deputy Chief for Operations Marcelo Garbo Jr. and his wife before the Office of the Ombudsman. The couple is facing falsification of public documents, violation of the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees, and violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices. NBI explains the complaints stem from the alleged ill-gotten wealth of Garbo. Based on the 2005 Statement of Assets, Liabilities, and Net Worth or SALN of Garbo, he had a net worth of only 22 million pesos. However, 10 years after, his net worth rose to more than 44 million pesos. The NBI says aside from the said amount, Garbo also has golf club shares, 5 luxury vehicles, a high-end motorcycle, a golf cart, and share of stocks reaching up to 18 million pesos. But the agency notes the former police general and his wife had an estimated income of around 5 million pesos only within 10 years.
We were able to determine through our investigation, based on the documents that we've gathered from the LRA, Land Registration Authority, Land Transportation Office, from other sources, that they have amassed at least 35 million pesos of ill-gotten wealth.
The NBI also files a petition of forfeiture of properties in favor of the government. The agency is also determining if Garbo has properties in the United States.
Disproportionate. It could not have been possible. There's a legitimate income. Because if the wife earned so much income from her practice, it should have been also included in the SALN.
Garbo has yet to issue a statement on the matter. It can be noted he is one of the alleged narco generals named by President Rodrigo Duterte himself. In terms of his alleged involvement in illegal drug operations, the NBI notes it has a separate investigation on the said issue. Rajel Adora, UNTV News Rescue, Philippines.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA has once again removed roadblocks caused by sidewalk vendors along Baclaran in Parañaque City. Here's why from Abby Santa Ines.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA conducted another clearing operations along the sidewalks in Baclaran earlier this morning. The MMDA confiscated from the vendors their tents, stalls, tables, and other materials used for selling products that went beyond the line designated by the agency. The MMDA says this will help encourage vendors to avoid violating the rule. After the clearing operations, some MMDA personnel, members of the Sidewalk Clearing Operations Group, and the Armed Forces of the Philippines will man the area to maintain its orderliness and ensure that the vendors will no longer return to the prohibited areas.
Ang objective ng MMDA kaya nililinis ang baklaran, yung kaayusan. Yun ho yung kailangan nating ilagay doon. At the same time, hindi naman natin sila inaalisan ng pangkabuhayan kasi naiintindihan namin yun. Pero kailangan din i-maintain natin yung cleanliness and orderliness sa service road ng baklaran.
With the help of the city government of Pasay City, the MMDA also set up bazaar tents along the service road of Rojas Boulevard for the vendors who were told to leave. However, the vendors complained of low sales. They explain few people pass by the area where they are allowed to sell, unlike on the opposite side where many people pass by.
Ang isang problema namin, masyado kami malayo sa matao kasi tingnan mo paano dadaan ng tao dito. Kung bibili ng sinilas dito, doon na lang bibili sa dadanan niya.
The MMDA plans to add more tents for those who fail to get a stall. The agency says they might stay longer at the bazaar tents should the orderliness in the area be maintained. Abby Centenes, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
In other news, the Bureau of Customs, or BOC, files charges before the Department of Justice, or DOJ, against the company Juljarac for illegally importing luxury vehicles in the country last July. The documents of the consignee declared that the container contains auto parts and vegetables. However, when the BOC inspected the shipment, it discovered 2 Mercedes-Benz cars. The luxury vehicles are worth 7.8 million pesos. The BOC files misdeclaration of imported goods against the owner of Juljarac Trading, identified as Julius Catalig, and its broker Rodrigo de Guzman.
We're doing everything that we can to eliminate corruption. So this is one of the practices being one of the modus operandi being conducted in the Bureau for so long. So right now there's really a crackdown by the Bureau against these kinds of practices.
The Grand People's Day of Serbisyong Kasangbahay was a huge success. Monokson will tell us why.
The first ever Grand People's Day of the Serbisyong Kasangbahay of UNTV has provided various services to hundreds of residents of Taguig City, especially to the poor. Ruth is one of the beneficiaries in the Grand People's Day of Serbisyong Kasangbahay of UNTV. She was emotional because at last she was able to consult and be checked by a doctor after 3 years. Ruth is suffering from diabetes, high blood pressure, poor eyesight, and have problem breathing properly. Ruth explained that she planned to visit the Serbisyong Kasangbahay office in UNTV, but it is too far from her. That is why she is thankful that the Civic Action visited her place.
Mabuti naman at awa ng Diyos at pumunta dito. Kaya salamat po sa Diyos.
Grand People's Day offered free medical, dental, optical, and legal service to the public.
Napakaganda po niyan kasi hindi naman lahat ng mga tao kaya magbayad ng lahat ng binibigay naming serbisyo. At ang maganda po niyan, very organized po yung pagkakagawa po ng civic action.
Various government agencies also participated in the activity, such as the National Bureau of Investigation, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, and GSIS. The Philippine National Police, or PNP, also conducted free seminar to inform the public about the various modus operandi of criminals. There is also a livelihood seminar for those seeking to learn and start a small business.
Sa UNTV, kay Kuya Daniel, kay Brother Eli, maraming salamat po at laking tulong po sa mga constitution namin.
Marami pong nag-benefits na mga kabarangay namin sa medical mission po na ginawa nyo dito sa amin ngayon. Salamat po.
The Grand People's Day of Serbisyong Kasangbahay is initiated by Kuya Daniel Razon. Kuya Daniel is behind the many public service activities of UNTV like the Libreng Sakay or Free Ride, Free Infant Care Center, Free Education, and several others. Kuya Daniel's major partner in the said public services is the Members Church of God International led by Brother Eli Soriano. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Taguig City.
Coming up on Y News. North Korea confirms it had successfully tested a new type of intercontinental ballistic missile which the international community condemns as posing global threat.
And Kuya Daniel Razon gives back to his family, friends, and supporters in a successful anniversary concert for his 34 years in public service.
More from Y News after this break.
The Philippine National Police, or PNP, has thanked UNTV for supporting its programs and projects during the Stakeholders Night. Robbie De Guzman will tell us why.
Police Community Relations Group or PCRG Director Senior Superintendent Lourdes Sereno says the programs of the Philippine National Police would not achieve success without the help of others. Sereno pertains to some government agencies, the corporate world, and the media, which the PNP gathered so that PNP Chief Police Director General Ronald Bato de la Rosa could personally thank them.
Ang Stakeholders Night ng Philippine National Police ay para po sa pagpapasalamat ng pambansang pulisya sa lahat po ng tumutulong sa lahat ng police community relations activities po namin, lalong-lalo po ang UNTV, number 1 po yan, na nandyan yung suporta niya na ibinibigay sa kapulis. Hindi ka po magiging magaling na operatiba kung kulang ka sa pakikipag-ugnayan sa komunidad. Hindi ka rin po maging magaling na intelligence officer kung kulang ka rin sa pakikipagtulungan or tulungan ng mga tao.
UNTV also expressed gratitude to the PNP through Radyo La Verdad station manager Ms. Annie Rantoy. Ms. Rantoy says this is for giving the company the opportunity to be part of the efforts of the PNP to serve the public.
First and foremost, nagpapasalamat po ako sa Panginoon and of course sa Philippine National Police dahil na-appreciate nila po ang mga ginagawang ang tulong ng UNTV sa pangunguna ni Kuya Daniel Razon. As you very well know, si Kuya Daniel Razon po ay nagkaloob ng several programs sa Philippine National Police. Mayroon pong program sa UNTV, may program po sa Radyo La Verdad, ang Philippine National Police. This is in order to promote their programs and projects. And of course, yung information dissemination na ginagawa ng programa para sa ating mga kababayan.
The PNP has programs on Radyo La Verdad and on UNTV called Police at Your Service. The UNTV also helps PNP in terms of providing assistance to police beneficiaries through the conduct of the League of Public Servants, the UNTV Cup. Participating in the UNTV Cup is the PNP Responders. The UNTV is also PNP's partner in providing aid to the families of the slain 44 Special Action Force troopers in Mamasapa, Maguindanao, and to the families left behind by their hero loved ones through the conduct of the Songs for Heroes concert. Robbie De Guzman, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Friends and supporters of Kuya Daniel Razon couldn't contain their emotions in last night's successful anniversary concert at the Okada Hotel in Parañaque City. Here's why from Leslie Longbowen.
His family, friends, and supporters, it is typical of Kuya Daniel to plan and execute his projects with the end result in mind that is beneficial to others. That's why even if it was his special day, he preferred to give rather than to receive a present for his 34th anniversary in public service.
So I'm gonna love you like I'm gonna lose you. I'm gonna hold you like we're saying goodbye.
Last night at Okada Hotel in Parañaque City, Kuya Daniel shared his gift of music by serenading his family and friends in a special concert entitled Beyond Music and Lyrics. The proceeds of the concert will fund Kuya's future projects, all for the purpose of public service. As always, Kuya Daniel never fails to touch the hearts of people with the wisdom in his every word, even if it is through a song.
Siyempre iba yung pakiramdam na makita mo si Kuya Daniel na hinaharana yung mga kapatid, alang-alang sa mapagsilbihan ng kapwa-tao. Napakasaya ng concert, talagang kumbaga hindi natin maipaliwanag kung pakiramdam.
Hey, you decorated my life.
Very striking yung kanta na You Decorated My Life kasi without God, we're nothing. And yung sa part ni Kuya na Between Walang Ningning, mas pili niyang walang ningning but at the same time, kasama niya ang Diyos na gumagawa. And we've seen all of that with all his advocacies, public services.
This was what Kuya Daniel shared to his audience last night. He remembers one time in his life when he was almost at the peak of his career that has taught him one very important thing.
Sa sarili ko, sabi ko parang naalala ko yung, nung napanood ko yung Between Walang Ningning, yung karir mo, kahit ano pang karir yan, hindi yan katumbas noong ningning na manggagaling sa Diyos. Kaya po talagang sa aking kalooban, mananatili na sa tulong at sa awa ng Panginoon, I will still say, I would rather lose my job, my career, than to lose my God and my faith.
Hayaang matakpan ang na di magtatagal sa piling mo, isang bituin, walang ningning.
But why beyond music and lyrics? Kuya Daniel has this to say.
So beyond everything, and that includes music and lyrics, there is something that God can see in our heart. So maaaring hindi natin makanta, hindi natin malagay sa letra, pero He understands what is in our heart. So and yun yung mga prayers natin, yung mga kahilingan natin and mga dreams natin sa buhay na gusto nating ma-achieve.
Ang ako sa'yo, paglalaban ko.
Leslie Longoan, UNTV News and Rescue, Parañaque City.
Those are the reasons behind the news, November 29, 2017. I'm Angelo Castro III.
Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am William Theo.
And I'm Darlene Basingan, because we need to know.
We will always ask why. Thank you for watching
Why News.